Wow. I don't think I've ever actually seen that video before. I think that might be
Yeah.
better than whatever we're about to do.
We could just roll it over and over again for the, entire length of the
Yeah.
live session. We're good.
So, hey everyone, thanks for coming on and spending a few minutes with us. In case you don't know who either of us are, my name is Matt Topper, cybersecurity evangelist with IT Nation. And joining me is Mendy Green, CEO of MSPGeek. How's it going, Mendy?
I am doing well, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing well, and just for the audience, we can publicly say thank you. Mendy volunteered to come on with me at the very last minute. I asked him, what, 4 hours ago if this time worked, and you made it work. So appreciate the flexibility.
Yeah, no worries. Happy to help.
So what we wanted to talk about is we are doing something with IT Nation Connect this year, where we are trying to involve as many of the MSP communities as possible, and really trying to make sure that they have a presence within the event, right? So yes, historically you've seen talks by Mendy, you've seen talks by other people in the community, but I think this is really the first time that MSP Geek as a whole, or any of the other communities that are involved in this, um, really have almost their own track, their own session sequence, whatever verbiage you want to use. Um, the communities have their own representation, not just in the form of tracks, but really in the form of presence within the show, and that's intentional, right? We all of the communities are part of IT Nation, and they have a presence and an ability to show their contributions, not just them being at the ConnectWise event, but really being part of IT Nation. So, Mandy, one of the earliest conversations we had about this was like sitting at the bar at ChannelCon a few months ago. Tell us what you're excited about, or tell us what your thoughts are on being part of this or having your own sessions. Like, what's different about that from previous events?
Yeah, so it's interesting because MSP Geek's history goes back pretty closely aligned, tied with ConnectWise, from the days of our formation. And so we've always had a pretty significant presence as a community within IT nations and automation nation and stuff like that. And we've always had um, essentially a period like or like a place to meet up. There was always like at the bar, it was always informal. And
Right.
actually, even before our conversations, it was Greg Lally and I were talking at I believe it must have been IT Nation Secure, I think.
Yeah, last year. That
Yeah,
that that tracks.
yeah, about how what we were thinking of doing. Like MSP Geek has our own conference, MSP GeekCon obviously, and we were looking to do more with other conferences and get more involved and open. And Greg's like, hey, IT Nation is actually planning on doing something with communities. Let's talk about what that looks like. Um, so this year, even though like for the last several years we've always had, like I said, an informal or unofficial presence and meetups and stuff like that, this year is going to be the first time where we have official sanctioned community areas, and it's not just MSP Geek, like you said, right? It was other communities as well um, that are going to be at the event, have their own group of sessions, which is going to be interesting as well. That's one of the things that's different too. We've always had informal meetups, but there was never really like an official track around what MSP Geek would offer if we were doing our own conference. And so one of the things that we're doing this year, which is exciting, is we're going to have three different people basically giving essentially talks that we would see at MSP GeekCon as part of the IT Nation, like the MSP Geek track. Um,
Yeah.
so it's really exciting to be able to do that. Obviously, I'm one of the speakers, um, so that's probably the most exciting, or most nerve-wracking. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I mean, we've got the session about loss of practical technician is something that I'm very big on. Um, we had Amanda's session before regarding the communities of force to drive your business, right? MSP Geek is very, very community focused. It's really where we
Yeah.
align, and a lot of that also aligns with IT Nation. Um, and so, being able to come through and talk about like how that community actually is transformative to your business, and both as a vendor and as an MSP. and what that can do is going to be really, really awesome. So that's being given by Amanda and Kelvin, who are co-speaking there. And then we've got another session from Dean. This is going to be about operationalizing no, right? So being able to take a step back and know when to say to the client, like, this is not the right move, even
Yeah.
when sometimes it feels like you have to speak truth to power and it's a little bit difficult to do that. So being able to not overpromise and make sure that you're not doing something that you're not in a good place to do. So this is going to be really interesting. This is three really good talks that I'm excited to give, I guess. Nervous to give, excited to give. It's kind of the same thing,
We're
Um,
excited to hear them.
and then the other two, of course, are going to be really cool, really awesome to hear as well. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
One thing that I think is really cool about this, and you mentioned it, is that these are talks that I would expect to see at MSP GeekCon, and in fact, the way that we came to these track or these specific sessions is not. We as the conference organizers said, Mendy, we think you should do these sessions. We wanted to hear from you, like these are things that you picked and said, Mendy, these can be your sessions, right? Through your slots, you put in what you think should be in there, not like, hey, here's three of the sessions that got submitted, and let's make that the MSP Geek sessions.
Yeah.
I like that idea that it's really almost a mini MSP Geek contract inside of IT Nation Connect, as opposed to we're just saying, hey, do these ones, call it the MSP Geek Con session.
Right. Yeah, it was interesting that we had the ability and control to basically pick what we would talk about if it was our conference, which essentially, like you said, it's a mini MSPGeekCon happening on a specific track. Yep.
So, what are some of the other things that you have planned around the event? I know we have speaker sessions, but I think we're also doing a community area and some things after hours for MSP Geek, and not limited to MSP Geek members, but just associated with you in the community. What else do you have planned?
Yeah, so the specifics of the plan is actually being handled by Amanda LaChapelle, who's one of the speakers you saw, and organizing a lot of this stuff for IT Nation, and some of our other conferences that we'll be involved in coming soon. But um, we are going to have a table within the vendor hall area. There's going to be like a community area there for a couple of communities, and we're going to have a table there where we're going to be hanging out by the booth. Essentially, we've got a few people coming in, MSP Geek board members and otherwise volunteers who will be manning the table there to answer questions and be friendly and greet people and everything else you do at a booth that I don't really know because I never hang out at one. But yeah, we'll be there at the booth, and then of course, like you mentioned, IT Nation is putting together a community room, like a community lounge, and so we'll be there as well during the meetup period. I don't remember. I think it was I can't remember if it's the first or second night, but it's one of those nights that we'll be in the community lounge.
It's on the agenda.
It's
If I
on the
guess, I will
agenda.
guess the wrong night.
Yeah, I should have just said that. Easier. Yeah.
Um, one of the cool things about the community lounge is one that it's something to do aside from the bar track, right? And as fun as going to hang out and going to the bar and all that is during events, we all partake in that. It is nice to have something to do that's not just partying all night. As awesome as that is, and I think it's a great way just to meet other people who are community focused, right? Yes, we all talk to, and for good reason, talk to the other attendees, talk to the vendors, and talk to all the solution providers. But it's also a nice way to meet people who share that same community ethos that MSP Geek does, right? The
Yeah.
the idea of everyone being there to support each other, the rising tides paradigm, and everyone who just wants to make the channel a better place, and it's all in a very selfless way, and just a way to like meet other people who everyone wants to help each other. And MSP has been just a fantastic thing for the industry and for the channel, and an opportunity for the communities to truly come together with other groups that think the same way, and maybe focus on other things. Like Right Boom focuses on security, Tech Degenerates focuses on, there's other different aspects to this. I don't think there's ever really been before like a meeting of the minds of the different communities like this. I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And one of the things that you brought up as well, like, the bar is obviously a very popular hangout place. Um, but I still get looks when I tell people I don't drink. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you a beer." Oh, you drink? Like, no, it's okay. I don't drink.
Yeah.
So we tend to like forget about those people who are looking for a quiet place to still be social, essentially, and not be part of the wider, more rowdy maybe party. Um, and I actually remember one of my first IT Nations that I attended. Like, I did not know what I was in for, but by day 2, I had lost my voice. Just trying to talk amongst the noise
Oh,
is
I
gets
know.
so hard, and it's very stressful on your voice. By day 2, my voice was gone. Um, so yeah, you gotta like having that quiet area. The community lounge is hopefully going to be a quieter place than the bar. From what I understand, there will be some drinks there or something like that. But it's meant for like that quiet place where the communities can sit
Yeah.
there and just lounge around casually, as opposed to going to one of the more partying like events, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah,
that's a loud bar, and it's just nice in that I don't know about you, the way my schedule is looking. I have a lot of early morning events, like
mm.
the after the first night. Then it's like I can't be out till
Well,
2, 3 in the
Matt, you
morning
always
and
do
keep doing this.
the early morning run, right? Is that something that you're still planning on doing?
Yes, we do have that planned, and so you got to pace yourself, right? The
Yeah,
if you want to make that run, you cannot be out until it's almost like if you're going to be out, you almost have to just stay up and not go to bed at all, right? I don't
right.
know what's worse, getting
And
two
then you're
hours of
crashing in
sleep
the
or
middle of the
none.
day.
Not
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Also,
yeah. It'll
I
be fun.
haven't
It's gonna be
really
great.
publicly shared this, but my birthday is the last day of the conference, so it's
Oh,
going to be
okay. Well, we need to
interesting.
have a birthday celebration on is that Friday we're talking about?
Yes, the 8th.
The 8th. All right. Birthday celebration that night. The 7th. The night of the 7th, we'll have a birthday
Yes.
celebration.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Hope
there you go.
hope don't have any meetings on the 8th.
Yeah.
Um, So if you haven't registered, part of the community of communities approach is that there's an MSPGeek promo code for we think it's $250 off of your all access pass to IT Nation Connect. Um, Great way to just get some discounts on your registration, your participation. Definitely get that in soon. If you haven't registered, it's going to be a fantastic time. Anything else you want to add, Mendy, before we sign off? Let me ask you this: what is the thing that you're most excited about for the event, except for maybe like getting through it successfully in one piece? That's kind of a default answer.
What am I'm most excited to see how the changes will take effect. This is going to be a very different format from what we normally see with IT Nation. And a lot of the sessions are going to be different. It's going to be a different focus, right? So I'm really excited to see how that comes out. And I think that honestly, a lot of conferences are looking at re-strategizing how the sessions and the design and format are built, and it's going to be interesting year with IT Nation, with Right of Boom. It's going to be fun to see how that comes through. So I'm most interested to see the end result of the learnings that we get and how that impacts the people who come and attend those sessions. Um, but obviously, I have to say I'm also most excited to see like how many people actually come to my session. Like people actually really want to hear it. Like that's the thing, right? That's the imposter syndrome talking. We'll find out. But yeah, that's really the change of the format is going to be interesting because it's basically going to set the tone of what we do, right?
Yeah.
In future years, essentially, if it works out well or whatever. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I am sure that you will have an audience. All of the MSP Geek sessions are going to have a good audience. They're
Yeah.
fantastic topics. You're all good speakers, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think you um, unintentionally gave the same answer I was going to, in that there's been so much planning on thinking about how we would do this paradigm and what it would look like. I'm just very excited to see the end result and have some of this materialize after just all of the meetings and discussions around how do we want to do this? How can we really implement this strategy? And I think it's going to come together, and I think it's going to be very exciting both for for us as presenters and community members, and for everyone attending who might not be presenting. I think everyone's in for maybe not a surprise because we're kind of letting the cat out of the bag as the strategy, but
A
I think
treat.
everyone will be impressed and surprised at how well it comes off.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, so if you haven't registered, the code is at the bottom, and just thank you everyone for taking a few minutes to come chat with us. Thank you, Mendy, again for last minute
Yeah, it's good to be here.
joining and all
Of
that.
course.
And if you have any questions or anything that we can answer for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Mendy directly. We're always around. And thanks for taking a few minutes. We'll see you in November.
Thank you, Matt.